The small research ship floated through the empty darkness of space. Kate Brown looked out the window at the stars. She had been up here for 2 months now, part of the first team from Earth to go this far into space. Kate sighed and turned back to her work screen. The quiet was getting to her. Even with 4 other people on the ship, it felt empty. She missed home, missed the sound of rain, missed walking on real ground. A small alarm beeped on her screen. Kate frowned. That was strange. The ship. Computers were picking up something big coming from the right side. She pushed the talk button on her wrist. Band Amy, come to the control room. I think I found something. Her leader arrived a minute later. Short red hair, messy from sleep. Amy Lee had been picked to lead this mission because she never panicked. She leaned over the screen, her eyes getting big. That's not a space rock. Kate. It's moving on its own. Changing direction. The 2 women watched as the dot on the screen got closer. Should we wake the others? Amy asked. Before Kate could answer, the ship shook hard. Around them lights blinked and safety systems turned on were being pulled in. Amy shouted, holding onto the desk for support. Some kind of pulling beam. Kate tried to start the engines, but nothing worked. The unknown thing got bigger in their window, showing itself to be a huge ship at least 10 times bigger than their own. Its outside glowed with a strange purple light. The next few minutes were a blur. Kate remembered alarms going off, remembered Amy calling the rest of the crew, remembered the weird feeling as their ship was pulled into an opening in the alien ship. And then darkness. Kate woke to the sound of soft humming. She was lying on something soft, her hands and feet free. Slowly, she opened her eyes and found herself in a room unlike any she had ever seen. The walls seemed to be alive, moving with soft blue light. The floor under the soft platform she lay on seemed to move like water. Where am I, Kate? Whispered, sitting up. She was still in her uniform, though her tool belt had been taken away. She touched her face, her arms checking for cuts but found none. A part of the wall opened and Kate gasped. The person that entered was clearly female, but not human. She stood very tall with skin the color of copper. Her body was thin but strong with 4 arms instead of 2. Her face was beautiful with large eyes that glowed a soft purple. 2 small antennae came from her head, moving slightly as she walked. Her most amazing feature was her hair, if you could call it that. Coming from her head were what looked like thousands of thin, shiny strings that moved on their own like plants underwater. They changed color as the alien walked, changing from deep purple to blue to green. Kate pushed herself against the wall, her heart beating fast. Do not be scared. The alien said, her voice musical and strangely spoken, though using perfect English. I am Nara. We have been watching your people. How are you speaking my language? Kate asked. The alien woman moved her head, the strings of her hair flowing with the movement. We studied your messages for many years. We know many of your languages. Where are my friends? Kate asked, trying to sound brave. They are safe, Nara said. They sleep still. We picked you first because you were the one watching the stars. Your brain showed wonder, not fear. Kate stood up slowly, careful to keep space between herself and the alien. I want to see them. You will. But first we must talk. Nara moved her top right hand and a part of the floor rose up, making what looked like a chair. The alien sat, her string hair flowing around her like a living cape. What do you want from us? Kate asked, staying standing. Not what you might think, Nara said. We have been watching Earth for many years. Your people stand at a turning point. You have promise but also great power to destroy. We have been talking about whether to meet you, and you decided to take us. Kate said, anger replacing some of her fear. Nara made a sound like small bells. That was not the first plan. Your ship entered a no-go area. Our safety systems turned on by themselves. Once you were brought here, we decided to use this chance. Kate took a small step forward. What chance? Nara stood, suddenly making Kate step back. The alien moved closer, her movement smooth and graceful even with her height. We are not so different, you and I, Nara said. Our people could help each other. But first we must know each other. Without warning, one of Nara's hairstrings moved toward Kate. She pulled back, but the string only floated near her face, glowing with tiny lights. "May I?" Nara asked. "What are you going to do?" Kate whispered. "Share," Nara said simply. "Just a small link so we can know each other better. It will not hurt." Kate waited. Every part of her that loved science told her to say yes to try this new thing, but fear held her back. "I promise no harm," Nara said, her voice gentle. The string moved back a little. Something in the alien's eyes made Kate trust her. Maybe it was the lack of meanness or the real wonder she saw there. Whatever it was, Kate found herself nodding. The string moved forward again, touching her head lightly. Kate gasped as pictures filled her mind. She saw stars from views. She'd never imagined worlds with impossible colors, creatures beyond description. And through it all, she felt Nara's presence, curious, respectful, careful. When the link broke, Kate stumbled backward. The alien caught her with her lower arms, helping her. "Stand are you well?" Nara asked, worry clear in her voice. That was Kate struggled to find words. Amazing. Nara made the bell sound again. "We call it sharing. It is how we talk with new people. It builds understanding faster than words." Kate looked up at the tall alien with new eyes. The fear was gone, replaced by wonder. "How many worlds have you visited? How many people have you met?" "Many," Nara replied. "But few with your promise. Your people dream big." "Kate Brown. That interests us." "How do you know my name, Kate?" asked Nara, pointed to her head. "We shared, remember, I know your top thoughts, your basic memories, you know some of mine too. Though the sharing is never full the first time." Kate realized with a start that she did know things about Nara. Her people called themselves the Luma. They were travelers, explorers who had visited thousands of worlds over millions of years. "Your people are so old," Kate whispered. "How have you lived so long without killing yourselves?" "We learned," Nara said simply. "We made mistakes. Had wars, sickness ruined our world, but we lived and learned." The strings of her hair moved, changing to a deep gold color. "We believe your people could do the same with help. Is that why you're here, to help us?" Nara moved her head. "That, and to learn from you. You're making your strength your art. These things interest us." Kate felt dizzy with the meaning. The first alien meeting, and they wanted to share culture, not take over. "What happens now?" she asked. "Now," Nara said, "we talk more. We wake your friends one by one, we share, then we decide together what comes next." Kate found herself thinking about Earth and what might happen when the Luma made contact. Would people be afraid? Would they attack first, ask questions later? Or would they see the amazing chance this was? She was pulled from her thoughts by a soft sound. Kate looked up to see Nara watching her. The alien's hair strings a gentle blue. "You worry," Nara said. Kate nodded. "How can I not? My people don't have a good history of meeting those who are different. We often fear what we don't understand." Nara moved closer, sitting beside Kate on the soft bench. "This is true of many peoples. We have seen it before, but we have also seen great change, great growth when minds open." "Do you think my people will accept you?" Kate asked. "Some will not," Nara replied. "This is the way of all first meetings. But with time understanding grows." A sudden thought hit Kate. What if Earth says no? What if our leaders reject your help? Nara was quiet for a long time, her hair strings moving slowly from blue to purple and back. "We would leave," she said finally. "We never stay where we are not wanted, but Kate Brown, we would not give up on your world. We would watch. Wait for minds to change. It might take years or hundreds of years, but we are patient." That made Kate smile. The idea of these ancient beings watching over Earth, waiting for humans to grow up enough to accept them. It was both comforting and a little sad. Later that day, Kate joined her crewmates for the first time since they'd all been woken up. They sat in a room the Luma had made to look like an Earth meeting room, with chairs and a table, though everything had that strange living quality. All things on the ship seemed to have. Amy looked up as Kate entered, her face serious. "So you've been spending a lot of time with your alien friend." Kate sat down feeling suddenly defensive. Nara has been teaching me about their people. Their history. Beth, the doctor, leaned forward, her dark skin glowing under the soft lights. They are amazing, Kate. Their medical knowledge, their technology. It's like nothing we've ever dreamed of. They could help us cure every disease, solve hunger, fix our climate problems. But at what cost? Greg asked. The ship's engineer looked worried. What do they want in return? Nothing comes. Free understanding. Paul said the biology expert looked excited as always. They want to learn from us as much as we want to learn from them. They find us fascinating. Amy shook her head. But can we trust them? We know nothing about these beings. They could be lying about everything. Kate felt a flash of anger. They shared with me. She said I felt Nara's mind. I saw her memories. They are peaceful explorers now. Whatever they were in the past, Sam, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. The small engineer tapped his fingers on the table. I don't know about all that he said. But I do know their ship tech is beyond anything I could have imagined. Their energy systems, their materials. If we could learn even a fraction of what they know, it would change everything for Earth. The room fell silent, each person lost in their own thoughts. Finally, Amy spoke again, her voice softer than before. I was afraid at first, she admitted. But after the sharing, I don't think they mean us harm. Still, I worry about how Earth will react. When we go back, when they make contact, there will be fear, panic, maybe even violence. Kate nodded, knowing Amy was right. Earth had never faced anything like this. How would people react to beings from another world? Beings with technology, so advanced it seemed like magic beings who could change how humans saw themselves, their place in the universe. The door opened then, and Nara entered along with another Luma. This one was different, taller, with skin that shimmered like silver. Its hair strings were shorter and seemed to move more quickly, changing colors in rapid patterns. This is Torin, Nara said, the leader of our exploration group. Torin moved into the room, the silver skin catching the light in beautiful ways. We have decided, the alien said, voice deeper than Nara's but with the same musical quality. It is time to return you to your world. Kate's heart jumped. We are going home? Yes, Torin replied. The silver Luma's hairstrings turned a formal gold color. The time has come for open contact with your world. We have watched long enough. Beth stood up. When do we leave? 3 cycles. Torin said, what you would call days. We must prepare the ship. Prepare you. There is much to discuss before we enter your solar system. Amy stepped forward as leader of the human group. How will you approach Earth? Our military will see you as a threat. We know, Torin replied. We have studied your defense systems, your weapons. We will send messages ahead of our arrival. Messages of peace in all Earth languages. We will give your leaders time to prepare their people, but we will come openly, not hiding in shadows. That night, Kate could not sleep. She paced her room, thinking about home, thinking about what was to come. When a soft chime sounded, at her door she knew who it was. Enter, she called. Nara glided in, her copper skin glowing softly in the dim light, her hair strings a calm blue. You should rest, the alien woman said. The days ahead will be difficult. I can't stop thinking, Kate replied. How will this change Earth? Everything will be different once people know we're not alone. Nara moved closer. Until now, your people have looked only inward, fighting among yourselves for land, for resources. Now you will look outward to the stars. You will see the greater community waiting. Is there really a community out there? Kate asked. Other worlds, other people beyond the Luma. Nara made her bell laugh. Yes, many, many worlds. Many peoples. Some like you, some very different. All learning, growing. Some trade, some share knowledge, some keep to themselves. But all part of the great pattern. Kate shook her head, trying to take it all in. How many? More than you can imagine, Nara replied. The strings of her hair formed patterns Kate had never seen before, like a map of stars spreading out in all directions. Thousands of worlds with thinking beings, tens of thousands more, with life growing, evolving, perhaps one day becoming something more. The universe suddenly seemed so much bigger, so much more amazing than Kate had ever dreamed. And Earth was about to join this great community. This great pattern, as Nara called it. Will you stay? Kate asked suddenly. Will you stay on Earth for a while, when we return? Nara's hair strings turned that now familiar gold and pink. Yes, if your leaders allow it, I have been named ambassador to Earth. I will stay and help your people understand us, and continue to learn about you. Kate felt relief wash through her. She had worried that once they returned to Earth, Nara would leave. That this amazing friendship, this connection would end. They stood together looking out the window at the endless stars, neither speaking but sharing a moment of quiet understanding. Everything was about to change. For Kate, for Earth, for everyone. The next day preparations began in earnest. The humans were given back their equipment, their personal items. All showed signs of having been studied, but nothing was damaged or missing. Torin gathered them in a large room where a three-dimensional image of Earth hung in the air, spinning slowly. We will approach from this direction, the silver Luma explained, pointing to a path that would bring them in from behind Earth's moon. We will send our messages 12 of your hours before we appear in your skies. This should give your leaders time to respond, to prepare. Kate watched as the image zoomed in, showing their exact path. Why come so openly? She asked. Why not meet with our leaders in secret first? Torin turned, silver skin flashing. Your world is full of secrets, too many secrets. We believe in openness and truth. This is not a meeting to be hidden in shadows. This is a moment for all your people. Amy crossed her arms. But the panic, the fear, yes, there will be fear. Torin acknowledged the silver. Luma's hair strings turned a deep purple. Fear is natural, but fear based on ignorance can be cured with knowledge. We will be patient. We have waited thousands of years to make open contact with Earth. We can wait a little longer for understanding to grow. As the meeting ended, Kate found herself next to Nara. The copper-skinned alien seemed thoughtful, her hair strings moving slowly in patterns Kate had come to recognize as deep thinking. What will happen if Earth rejects you? Kate asked softly. If we choose to face our problems alone. Nara looked down at her. We would leave, as I told you. But Kate Brown, nothing would be the same. Your people would know they are not alone in the universe. That knowledge itself changes everything. Even if we go, even if your world turns away from the stars for now, the seed will be planted. The knowing that is sometimes enough for change to begin. Over the next few days, Kate spent hours with Nara learning about the Luma people. Their world was based on learning and exploring. They had no idea of money valuing. Instead, the finding of new things and understanding. They lived for hundreds of years, their bodies made better over time to handle the dangers of space travel. The rest of the crew had been woken up. Amy was doubtful at first, but soon changed her mind, especially after trying the sharing. Beth, the ship's doctor, was interested by Luma bodies, while Greg and Sam, the ship workers, were amazed by the alien tools. Paul, the plant and animal expert, spent his time studying bits of Luma plants they grew on their ships. Kate found herself drawn to Nara. There was something about the alien woman that felt right to her, maybe because Nara had been the first to connect with her mind one day, as the aliens called their days. Kate was in the watching room of the Luma ship looking out at the stars when Nara joined her. The alien stood close enough that her strings sometimes touched Kate's arm, sending small tingles through her skin. Your world is pretty, Nara said, pointing to a far spot that Kate knew was their sun. Even from here I can feel its power. Will you take us home? Kate asked the question that had been on all the humans' minds. Nara turned to her, the strings of her hair changing to a deep blue. That depends on what your people decide. When we return, you, the sharing, will go on with your leaders. We hope for friendship, but we cannot force it. Kate waited, then reached out slowly toward Nara's hair. The alien went very still as Kate gently touched one of the strings. It felt warm and seemed to beat under her fingers. I stroked her hair, and the alien woman was shocked, then whispered, "You know what this means?" Kate pulled her hand back. "What?" What does it mean? Among my people, Nara said softly. The touching of strings is saved for family and the closest of friends. It shows trust, full trust. I'm sorry. Kate said I didn't. No, do not say sorry. Nara replied, her strings now glowing with gold and pink light. I am not angry, I am happy. You followed your feeling to trust. That is what we hope for between our peoples. Kate smiled, relief washing over her. She had worried she'd done something wrong. Instead, she'd made a friend. The following day, Nara took Kate to a special room deep inside the ship. Inside was what looked like a garden, but unlike any garden Kate had seen. Plants of all colors, shapes and sizes filled the space. Some moved on their own, reaching toward them as they entered. Others sang soft, sweet sounds that filled the air. This is our memory garden, Nara explained. Each plant stands for a world we have visited, a people we have met. They carry memory in there. Cells, that's beautiful, Kate breathed. The air was sweet and clean, filled with smells she couldn't name. One day maybe a plant standing for Earth will grow here, Nara said. Would you like to help me plant the first seed? Kate looked at the alien woman who had in such a short time changed everything she thought she knew about space. Yes, she said, I would like that very much. As they worked together, getting the soil ready, Kate knew that whatever happened next, nothing would ever be the same. People were not alone in space. And maybe with the help of the Luma they could avoid the mistakes so many people had made before them. Nara looked up, catching Kate watching her. The alien's strings changed to that now-known gold and pink mix that Kate had come to know as liking. This is only the start, Nara said softly. There are wonders beyond imagining waiting for your people. Kate Brown, and I am happy to be the one to show them to you. The next morning, Kate woke to find Nara waiting by her bed. The alien seemed excited, her hair strings moving faster than normal. Come, Kate, Nara said. Your friends are meeting with our leaders. I want to show you something special before we join them. Kate followed Nara through twisting halls that seemed to move and change. As they walked, they went deeper into the ship than Kate had been before, finally stopping before a large round door that glowed with soft green light. What is this place? Kate asked. Our history room, Nara replied. The strings of her hair turned a deep blue color, a shade Kate had come to know meant seriousness or respect. Few outsiders are allowed here, but I asked for special permission for you. The door opened without a sound, and Nara led Kate inside. The room was huge, bigger than Kate could have imagined. The walls, floor, and ceiling were covered in what looked like moving paintings. They showed strange worlds, amazing creatures, and beings of all shapes and sizes. Some looked almost human. Others were so alien, Kate could hardly understand what she was seeing. These are the memories of all the worlds we have visited. Nara explained, all the people we have met. Some are gone now. Their worlds dead or changed too much. But we remember them all. Kate walked slowly, turning in circles, trying to take it all in. It was overwhelming, beautiful and sad at the same time. Why show me this? She asked. Finally, Nara moved closer, her four hands clasped in front of her. Because you need to understand what is at stake. Your world stands at a turning point. Kate, many worlds reach this same point. Some move forward into a time of peace and growth. Others destroy themselves. Kate watched as one of the moving paintings showed a world burning, cities falling into dust. People running in fear. This was, Varan, Nara said softly. They were much like your people. Creative, smart, full of promise. But they could not move past their fighting. They destroyed their world in a war that lasted just 3 days. Another painting showed a beautiful blue-green world, with amazing cities that seemed to grow from the land itself, and this is Tella. Their people chose a different path. When we met them, they were like you, on the edge of destroying themselves. But they listened. They learned. They grew. Kate felt a heaviness. In her chest, could the same happen to Earth? Could humans really destroy themselves so completely? Some of your leaders believe we should not help your world, Nara said. Some think your people are too wild, too set in your ways to change. But I have shared with you, Kate Brown. I have felt your heart. I believe there is hope for Earth. Kate turned to look at the alien woman. Do all your people look like you? She asked, suddenly curious. Nara made her bell laugh. No, we come in many forms. Her hair strings rippled, changing to show many colors. We change ourselves to better live in space. Some of us have wings, some have gills for water worlds. Some look much more like you than I do. Have you always been explorers? Kate asked, still trying to understand these amazing beings. No, Nara replied. Once long ago, we were warriors. We almost destroyed ourselves as well. The strings of her hair darkened to a sad gray color. We fought great wars spread across many worlds. It was a dark time, but then came the great changing. Our people saw what we had become. We chose a new path. How long ago was that? Nara seemed to think for a moment. By your counting of time, about 2 million years. Kate gasped. 2 million years. The human race had only existed for a tiny fraction of that time, and in all that time you've been exploring. Learning, yes, Nara said, and helping when we can. Some worlds accept our help. Others turn us away. We never force ourselves on any people. The choice must always be theirs. Like Earth will have a choice, Kate said. Yes, Nara replied. And that time comes soon. Your leaders will be contacted when we return you to your world. They will decide. The day of their return came quickly. The human crew gathered their few belongings and prepared to board their own ship, which had been kept in the great bay of the Luma vessel. Kate stood looking at the small research ship that had brought them. Here it seemed so tiny, so simple compared to the living technology of the Luma. Are you ready? Nara's voice came from behind her. Kate turned to see the copper-skinned alien standing there. Her hair strings a mix of blue and gold. I don't know, she admitted. Part of me can't wait to see Earth again, to feel real air, real gravity. But another part of me is afraid. Nara finished for her. Yes, Kate nodded. How do you tell the whole world that everything they thought they knew about the universe is wrong? Oh, do you prepare them for such a big change? You cannot fully prepare anyone for such news, Nara said gently. But you can help them understand. You can be a bridge. Kate Brown. Between your people and mine. The rest of the crew joined them. Amy, looking serious. As always, Beth, Greg, Sam, and Paul, all carrying small cases of samples and data they had collected during their stay. Torrin approached the group, the tall silver Luma moving with that strange fluid grace all the aliens seemed to have. It is time, the leader said. We will enter your solar system in 6 hours. Your ship will go first, carrying our message of peace. Amy stepped forward. Our ship is small. She said it has no weapons. Your vessel is huge. Earth defense systems will see it as a threat. No, Torrin replied. But we cannot hide what we are. We come openly or not at all. The humans exchanged glances. Kate could see the worry on their faces. But what choice did they have? They were going home, bringing with them news that would change human history forever. The boarding process was quick. Their ship had been well maintained during their stay. All systems were working better than before. In fact, Greg whispered that the Luma had improved several key components, making their ship faster and more efficient. As Kate prepared to board, she felt a gentle touch on her arm. She turned to find Nara standing close, the alien's eyes glowing softly in the dim light of the bay. We will meet again soon, the copper Luma said. But this parting, this return to your ship, this is a big moment. A first step. Kate smiled, trying to hide her nervousness. I never thought I'd be part of first contact with aliens, she said with a small laugh. That was never in my career plans. Nara made her bell laugh. That is the beauty of life. The unexpected turns, the new paths. None of us truly know what our journey holds. Before Kate could respond, Nara reached out, one of her hair strings extending toward her face. It touched her temple lightly, and Kate felt that now familiar rush of images, feelings, knowledge, a deeper sharing than before. When it ended, Kate blinked, finding herself leaning against Nara's lower arms for support. That was different. Nara finished. The alien's hair strings glowed bright gold. I have shared something special with you, a gift for the days ahead. When doubt comes, when fear rises, remember what you have seen. Remember the truth of who we are. Kate nodded, not trusting herself to speak. She had seen so much in that moment. Glimpses of Luma history, worlds beyond imagining, the great pattern of life spreading across the stars, and through it all a sense of hope. A belief that life, no matter how different, could find common ground. The journey back to Earth was strangely quiet. The human crew spent most of the time preparing their reports, trying to find words to explain what they had experienced. Beth worked on her medical findings, the changes in their bodies after exposure to the Luma environment. Greg and Sam analyzed the improvements to their ship. While Paul studied the plant samples he'd been allowed to bring back, Kate sat at the communication station crafting the message they would send ahead of the Luma ship. How do you tell Earth that aliens were coming? How do you explain that these beings meant no harm, that they offered friendship, knowledge, a place in a greater community? The words seemed so small, so inadequate for the task. But Kate kept writing, erasing, trying again. She owed it to Nara to get this. Right when they crossed the orbit of Mars, Amy called them all together. This is it, she said. In 1 hour we send the message. In 12 hours the Luma ship will appear in Earth orbit. Everyone knows what to say, what to do. They nodded. Each had their role. Their testimony would be crucial in those first confusing hours. Kate watched through the view screen as the familiar blue-green world grew larger. Earth home. But somehow it looked different now. Smaller. More fragile. A tiny island in the great ocean of space. She thought of what Nara had shared with her. The countless worlds, the vast community of thinking beings spread across the galaxy. Earth was just one world. One people about to take their first real steps into that greater community. The message was sent precisely on schedule, directed to all major governments in every Earth language. Attention, people of Earth. This is research vessel Aurora. We are returning from deep space contact with an advanced civilization calling themselves the Luma. They come in peace, seeking friendship and knowledge exchange. Their ship will appear in Earth orbit in 12 hours. Please respond. Their technology far exceeds our own, but they mean no harm. We repeat, they mean no harm. The responses came quickly. Disbelief questions, demands for proof, orders to report to specific landing sites, military alerts being raised around the world. Kate had expected this, the fear, the confusion. But still it hurt to see how quickly some turned to thoughts of defensive weapons, of treating the Luma as a threat. For hours, they answered questions, sent data, images, proof of their encounter. They spoke directly with military leaders, government officials, scientists, trying to prepare them for what was coming. Then the time came. The great Luma ship shimmered into existence just beyond Earth's moon. Massive, beautiful, its iridescent hull catching the sunlight. The ship that had seemed so huge to them now looked even larger against the backdrop of Earth. Kate watched the screens as Earth reacted, military systems going on high alert. Communications channels exploding with activity, satellites turning to focus on the alien vessel. But the Luma did exactly as they promised. They stayed at a respectful distance. They broadcast their message of peace in all Earth languages. They waited patiently for a response. Kate and her crewmates landed at a military base in the middle of the desert, surrounded by armed guards and government officials. The moment their feet touched Earth soil, they were separated, taken to different rooms for debriefing. Kate answered questions for hours, telling her story again and again, explaining about the Luma, about Nara, about the sharing, about the great community of worlds, waiting to welcome humanity. Do you believe they are telling the truth? A stern-faced woman in a dark suit asked after hours of questioning. Kate looked her directly in the eyes. I know they are, she said. I shared thoughts with them. I saw into their minds. They could have destroyed us at any time if that was their goal. They have technology thousands of years ahead of ours, but they don't want our resources or our land. They want understanding, friendship, a chance to help us avoid the mistakes other worlds have made. The woman wrote something in her notes. You sound like you admire them. I do. Kate said simply. They have lived for millions of years, explored thousands of worlds. They could teach us so much. And what do they want in return, the woman asked, her voice sharp to learn. Kate replied, "They find us interesting, our art, our music, our creativity. They believe every world, every people has something unique to offer. The great pattern, as they call it." The questions went on for days. Kate hardly slept, barely ate. She saw none of her crewmates had no idea what was happening outside the compound where they were kept. And then one morning a different official came to her room, this one smiling. "The Luma have asked for you by name," he said. "Their ambassador wishes to speak with you." Kate felt her heart jump. She was taken to a large conference room where government officials from around the world sat at a long table. At the far end stood the copper-skinned form of Nara, the Luma, looked exactly as Kate remembered, though her clothing had changed to something more formal. The hair strings moved slowly, a calm blue color. "Nara," Kate said, unable to keep the emotion from her voice. The alien turned her violet eyes, finding Kate immediately. The hair strings rippled, changing to that familiar golden pink. "Kate Brown," she said, her musical voice filling the room. "You are well," Kate nodded, moving closer. The officials watched their exchange with intense interest. "This is really happening, isn't it?" she asked softly. "First contact official meeting between Earth and the Luma, yes," Nara replied. "The first of many, I hope." Her upper hands gestured to the table. "Your leaders have many questions, many fears, but also much curiosity. This is good one." Of the officials stood a tall man with gray hair. "We have agreed to formal diplomatic relations," he announced. Looking at Kate, he added, "The Luma ambassador has requested that you serve as human liaison. You know their ways, their language, their culture, better than anyone. What do you say?" Kate looked at Nara, then back at the official me. "The Luma trust you," the man said. "And after reading your reports, so do we. You have seen their world, experienced their sharing. You can help us understand them, help them understand us." Kate felt the weight of the moment pressing down on her. This was bigger than anything she'd ever imagined. A bridge between worlds, between peoples. That was what Nara had called her. "I accept," she said, her voice steady. "I would be honored." 6 months passed in a whirlwind of meetings, conferences, interviews, and endless questions. Kate had become the face of human-Luma relations, appearing on screens around the world, explaining, teaching, preparing people for the changes to come. A small Luma embassy had been established, a beautiful living structure that grew rather than was built. It shimmered with soft light, changing colors with the time of day. Humans lined up for miles, hoping for a chance to see the visitors from the stars. Kate stood on the balcony of her new apartment looking out over the city lights. The world had changed so much in such a short time. The panic had faded, replaced by wonder, curiosity, hope. At least for most. Some still feared, the aliens still protested their presence, but they were growing fewer as understanding spread. A soft chime sounded at her door. Kate smiled, knowing who it was. "Enter," she called. Nara glided in her copper skin, catching the moonlight streaming through the windows. The alien's hair. Strings moved in slow patterns of blue and gold. Kate had learned to read these colors, these movements like a language. Now she could tell that Nara was thoughtful but pleased. "The council has agreed," the Luma said. "The knowledge exchange will begin next month." Kate sat down on her couch, gesturing for Nara to join her. "What will you share first?" "Medical knowledge," Nara replied, sitting with that fluid grace. The hair strings rippled. "Then clean energy technology, food production methods. Things to ease suffering first. Other knowledge will come later when your people are ready." Kate nodded. It made sense. Start with the basics. The things all humans could agree were needed. Address hunger, disease, pollution, energy needs. The more advanced knowledge, the deeper understanding of the universe would come with time. Your people have adjusted well, Nara observed. Better than many worlds we have contacted. The fear is less than we expected. Kate smiled. The fact that you look somewhat like us helps, she said. 2 arms, 2 legs, 1 head. It makes you seem less alien. Even with the 4 arms and the... She gestured to Nara's moving hair strings. The Luma made her bell laugh. Yes, these tend to surprise people. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, Kate, still amazed at how natural it felt to be friends with a being from another world. Have you decided? Nara asked. Finally, Kate looked down at her hands. The Luma had offered to take a small group of humans back to their homeworld. A gesture of trust, a chance to deepen the bond between their peoples. Kate had been asked to lead this first delegation. It's a big step, she said. 5 years on another world. So far from home, but what an opportunity, Nara replied. The hair strings glowed brighter. You would be the first humans to see another living world, to meet other peoples from the great pattern. Kate had thought of little else for weeks. The chance to see what Nara had shown her in their sharings, to walk on another world, breathe alien air, meet beings beyond imagining. It called to her, pulled at her heart. Her mind, her soul. I will go, she said finally, looking up to meet Nara's violet eyes. I can't pass this chance up. The Luma's hair strings flashed bright gold with pleasure. I hoped you would. Say this, she said. The journey will change you. Kate Brown. As it has changed all who take it. But you will return with new eyes, new understanding. You will be a stronger bridge that night. Kate stood on her balcony looking up at the stars. The Luma, mothership, hung in orbit, visible as a bright point of light moving across the sky. A constant reminder of how everything had changed. Her mind drifted back to that first meeting, Nara entering her room on the alien ship. The fear, the wonder, the moment of sharing that had changed everything. She remembered touching Nara's hair strings, remembered the shock on the alien's face. I stroked her hair, and the alien woman was shocked, then whispered, You know what this means. Trust, absolute trust. That was what it had meant. And from that small moment, that simple human gesture of reaching out a bridge had begun to form a connection between two people from different worlds that had grown into something bigger, a bridge between Earth and the stars. Kate smiled, up at the night sky. Soon she would be out there among those stars, seeing wonders no human had ever seen, meeting peoples no human had ever imagined, walking on worlds beyond dreams. But for now she was here, a bridge builder, a translator between worlds, making sure that this first contact, this new relationship, grew strong and true. The following weeks were filled with preparations for the journey. The human delegation was small, just 12 people carefully chosen for their knowledge, their adaptability, their open minds, scientists, diplomats, artists, all going to represent Earth, all going to learn. Kate met with each of them, sharing what she knew of Luma culture, preparing them for what they might experience. She told them about the sharing, how it would feel, warned them about the disorientation, the flood of images and feelings. Will it hurt one of them? Asked a young artist with bright eyes. No, Kate said, smiling at the memory of her first sharing. It doesn't hurt. It feels like suddenly remembering things you never knew, like dreaming while awake. The news of the planned journey spread around the world. Some protested, calling it dangerous, foolish. Others celebrated it as the next great step for humanity. Debates raged in every country, every home, every heart. Kate found herself defending the decision again and again. We can't stay on Earth forever, she would say. We can't turn away from the stars, from the great community waiting for us. We have to take this step. We have to reach out the night. Before their departure, Kate met with Nara in the garden of the Luma embassy. The living plants glowed softly, lighting their path as they walked. Plants from a dozen different worlds grew here, already changing the landscape with their alien beauty. Are you nervous? Nara asked, her hair strings moving in curious patterns. Kate laughed. A little, she admitted. 5 years is a long time for you. Perhaps. Nara said with her bell laugh. For my people it is a blink. They stopped beside a pool where strange fish, like creatures, swam in glowing spirals. Kate watched them, mesmerized by their alien grace. What was it like? Kate asked suddenly. The first time your people met another thinking race. The first time you knew you weren't alone. Nara's hair strings moved, slowly turning a deep, thoughtful blue. It was long ago, she said, many thousand of your years. But our records show there was great fear. Great wonder, too. The beings we met were very different from us. More different than you and I. They breathed different. Air lived in different conditions, but still we found ways to speak, ways to share like you and I. Kate said. Yes, Nara replied after many struggles, many misunderstandings. That is why we move slowly now. That is why we watch worlds for many years before making contact. We learned from those early mistakes. Kate looked up at the stars visible through the living roof of the garden. Tomorrow she would be up there on her way to see a new world, a new sun. She would be the first human to walk on an alien planet, to breathe air not of Earth. The thought was both terrifying and wonderful. Do you think Earth will join the great pattern someday? She asked. Will we become like you? Explorers, helpers, teachers. I believe you will, Nara said. The copper Luma reached out one hand, touching Kate's shoulder gently. Your people have much to learn, but also much to teach, much to offer. I have seen your art, your music, your stories. They speak of hope, of reaching beyond yourselves. These are rare gifts in the universe. The morning came bright and clear. The departure ceremony was small, held in a field near the Luma embassy. Just family, friends of those going, and key officials. Kate had no family to see her off, but she had friends new and old who came to wish her well. Small ship that would take them to the Luma homeworld sat gleaming in the sunlight. It was a blend of Luma and human technology built together as a symbol of their new partnership. As Kate prepared to board, Amy appeared, her old captain from the first mission. So you're really going, Amy said. Her red hair was longer now, her face more relaxed than Kate had ever seen it during their mission. Kate smiled. I have to, she said. I need to see it. All of it? Amy nodded. I understand. If I were younger, I'd be going too. But she shrugged. Someone has to stay. Keep an eye on things. Make sure Earth doesn't forget what we learned. They hugged briefly. Then Kate turned to the ship. The rest of the delegation was already boarding, each with that same mix of fear and excitement on their faces. Nara waited at the foot of the ramp, her copper skin glowing in the morning light, her hair strings moving in excited patterns. Ready, Kate Brown? The alien asked. Kate took a deep breath, looking back at Earth one last time. The blue sky, the green trees, the familiar horizon. Soon she would see other skies, other trees, other horizons. She would meet beings beyond imagining, walk on worlds humans had never dreamed of. Ready, she said, and together they walked up the ramp. As the ship rose through the atmosphere, Kate watched through the viewport as Earth grew smaller, a blue marble hanging in the darkness of space. Beautiful, fragile, precious, but no longer alone, no longer isolated. The great Luma mothership waited in orbit, its bay doors opening to receive their small vessel. Kate felt the gentle bump as they docked, felt the change, as they moved from Earth gravity to the ship's artificial pull. And then they were moving again, accelerating away from Earth toward distant stars. Kate stood at the viewport watching as her homeworld became a small point of light, then vanished entirely. A new journey was beginning. For her, for Earth. The first steps into a greater universe, into the great pattern Nara had described. Where would it lead? What would they find? What would they become? Kate didn't know, but as she turned away from the viewport toward her alien friend, she knew one thing.